You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb inside of his skin and walk around in it. That line sits at the heart of To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee's 1960 novel that became an instant classic, and one of the most frequently challenged books in American schools. The story unfolds in the small town of Macomb, Alabama, during the 1930s. Our narrator is Scout Finch, a young girl looking back on a defining period in her childhood. Scout lives with her brother Jem and their widowed father, Atticus Finch, a lawyer known for his quiet integrity. At first, Scout's world is small and mostly filled with childhood curiosities, games with Jem, summers with their friend Dill, and the mysterious figure of Boo Radley, a reclusive neighbor who never leaves his house. The kids build wild stories about him, imagining he's some kind of ghostly figure lurking in the shadows. But the innocence of those summers is disrupted when Atticus takes on a case that puts the whole town under a spotlight. He's defending Tom Robinson, a black man accused of raping a white woman, Mayella Ewell. In 1930s Alabama, this is more than a legal battle, it's a direct challenge to the deep-rooted racism of the community. Scout and Jem begin to see the uglier side of their neighbors. Friends turn cold. People insult Atticus for defending Tom, calling him names in public. Even at school, Scout hears classmates repeat the ugly language they picked up at home. Atticus tries to teach his children to rise above the hatred, reminding them that doing the right thing is rarely easy. The trial becomes the center of the story. In court, Atticus methodically dismantles the Ewell's lies, showing that Mayella's injuries came from her abusive father, Bob Ewell, not Tom Robinson. The evidence points clearly to Tom's innocence, but the all-white jury still convicts him. Justice bows to prejudice. The aftermath is devastating. Tom is later shot while trying to escape prison. Bob Ewell, humiliated by the trial, looks for revenge. He menaces several people connected to the case, and one night he attacks Jem and Scout as they walk home. In a surprising twist, they're saved by none other than Boo Radley, who kills Ewell in defense of the children. In the final moments, Scout finally meets Boo face to face. She realizes he's not the monster she imagined, but a shy, gentle man who's been quietly watching over her family for years. Standing on his porch, she sees the neighborhood from his perspective, and understands Atticus's lesson about empathy in a way she never had before. To Kill a Mockingbird became a huge success upon release, winning the Pulitzer Prize and cementing Harper Lee's place in literary history. But it has also been one of the most banned and challenged books in the United States. Objections vary, some cite its frequent use of racial slurs, others object to its portrayal of racism, sexual assault, and injustice. In recent decades, schools in Biloxi, Mississippi, 2017, and Duluth, Minnesota, 2018, pulled it from required reading lists, though it remained available in libraries. Critics also argue it presents a white savior narrative, centering Atticus instead of the black characters most affected. Yet its banning has only reinforced its importance. Lee's novel doesn't present racism as a distant historical curiosity, it shows it as an everyday force that warps justice, relationships, and even childhood. And while Atticus is often idealized, the story doesn't promise easy victories. The innocent man still dies. The children still lose a piece of their innocence. Why it still matters today? Because the questions it asks are still unsettled. How do we confront injustice in our communities? How do we raise children who can see past prejudice when the culture around them reinforces it? And perhaps most painfully, what does it take for truth to matter more than bias? Reading To Kill a Mockingbird now isn't about visiting a closed chapter of American history, it's about recognizing patterns that still exist. The book reminds us that empathy is not passive. It's an active choice to look at the world through someone else's eyes, even when it's uncomfortable, and especially when it's necessary.